Hello, good evening and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Murphinda. Now, before we go into total lockdown, which is coming up tonight, we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about horticultural grade polythene sheeting that you put onto your tunnels, your grow tunnels. So yeah, we'll go on up to the plots now, and then at the end of the plot bit, stick around for that, because I'll show you what kind of poly sheeting you're going to need to complete the roof on your polytunnels. Alright, it's a specialist type. Okay, so welcome to the frozen tundra that is the winterland of Eden. I've done a little bit more. Obviously the conditions are not suitable for hard graft. Well, they probably are, aren't they, really? Because you want to be getting stuck in weather like this, because it's very cold. It was -3 last night, and today it's 0. That's Mick just getting off. Magical Mick Derbyshire from Old Back Derby's farm. So I've put that in, that base plate for the rear lifting window, with its little clasp to keep it shut. That's how it's going to be, like that. So we're waiting now to really get a decent day. Now, it was supposed to be sunny today, but it's more like the misty moors. I keep half expecting the Hound of the Baskervilles to come bounding up. A desolate moor like that. But yeah, so anyway, I've got that on, put that in, and the closer on, just gives it something to close to. And so that's fine, that's done. Put a little coat hanger up as well. You can tell I'm scratching around there, can't you? I wanted to sort of dig out the central part and level it off, but the ground's too cold. It's kind of frozen, the ground, so I don't think that will be a job for today. I'm hoping that we get some melt going on tomorrow, and then tomorrow afternoon I can do that. I can level all that off, create that path down the centre. What I'm thinking about doing, oh, that's the coat hanger, the coat hook. What I want for the beds at the side is I want them to be a little bit higher than that, so those windows are a little bit too deep. So I'm going to raise it up a little bit on the inside of it with that timber, so that we've got a good 8 inches, a good 8 to 10 inches worth. Yeah. Now, because actually that opens out that way, so that wouldn't be too bad. We can take the depth of the beds right up until here, and that's about 10 inches. So we'll have that. We'll have a 10-inch bed going all the way around, and then the same down the sides of where the path's going. Path's going in here. Where are they now? The pavers. Here they are. So the pavers are there. So that's the width. That's the width of the path, which is 2 feet. So it'll be a 2 feet path down the centre, which will leave us just short of 3 feet either side for our growing beds. But that's going to be going all the way down the centre. That I'm not going to have one at the back there, because at the back is where the potting area is going to be. So that's going to be about 4 feet. So where those brown uprights are, it's going to come out there as a table, 2 feet by 4 feet table. At the back there, it's going to be a floating table. I'm going to bring off the supports for the table away from these timbers. I'll show you what I mean by that. See these coming out at 45-degree angles? That's a 4x2, and that's supporting the actual table. So we've not got the legs coming down from that. We've just got that coming up from the sides, and that will support that table because it's thick enough and strong enough, robust enough to handle it. Same with that table over there. Done the same thing with the 2x2 on that smaller table, and that's fine, because you can get in and out easily with your knees, and we're not getting the legs. We might get the legs down, but we don't need them. I want to do it as a floating table, and then all down the sides of it It's probably going to come out to about the bed, and have the beds running down the sides, and then the table over the top of it, and we'll have leafy greens in these areas, and then all the rest of the tomatoes and cucumbers and such that we're going to be growing inside this polytunnel are going to go down the sides in the actual beds. But that's going to be a potting area. Yeah, getting your seeds, your seedlings off and running in that area. So the pavers are going to come right to the end there on that. From about there to there, and that's your pathway coming all the way down there to the door. Now we're going to run the beds. When I close this off, because the beds are going to be in the way, the door will only open to about there once the beds are in, because the beds are going to be coming off from there, coming this way on either side. Yeah, and they're going to all be boxed in as independent beds either side, lined out with about 3 layers of the weed membrane, the good weed membrane, all down there. The path's going to have 1 layer of weed membrane on it once I drop it, and then it's going to have about 1 inch or so of sand, and then the paving slabs will act as a membrane, won't they, as they go over. We'll probably get some weeds popping up through the cracks in the flags. We call them flags over here, not paving stones, or paving slabs generally, but that's what they are. They're over there. The big heavy ones, heavy duty jobs. I've got another one in the car and 2 smaller ones, so I will have enough there, because the 3 feet by 2 feet, those, so 3 of those and 2 half ones of those will equate to the 12 feet that we need to do the path with. So that's going to be fine, that's going to be okay. So like I say, we're just waiting on for the weather really now, to get it completed. I need another bit of wood for there, don't I? I'll put that in now. There we go. Let's finish that window off. Yeah, so as I say, oh, that's frozen stiff. That'll hold it. That'll hold the door. That's the lifting window for the side. Again, that's got 2 clasps on it. These are going to vent. Now what I will be doing is I'll be bringing it out. So I'll be bringing out the surrounds by another few inches, and then netting that with the bug net, so that the bugs won't be able to get in on either end, but I want it to be removable, so that secondary frame with the bug netting on will be removable, because we do want the pollinators to get in. Once we've got all the tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff in here, we can leave those windows open, let the bugs get in, the bees, the butterflies, and the hoverflies, let them come inside here, and they will pollinate our cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, etc. But we'll get that flow of air coming through then. You do need that airflow in a polytunnel. As I said before, this setup of a polytunnel will be very hot in the summer. Believe it or not, you can't credit that at the moment, because we're on the ice world of Hoth at the moment from Empire Strikes Back. But in the summertime, these do get very hot. They get kind of like a sauna. Gets to about, I think last year in that one, in the big one, the original tiki tunnel, it got to 120 degrees in there, which was darn hot. It was hot and sweltery. So that's definitely something to bear in mind. Yeah, you need to think ahead when you're planning any building, any construction. I've been toying with the idea for the central bar. Somebody suggested the other day, and I'm sorry I forget who it was, that we use metal bar for the top, They suggested a couple of websites to go on for the metal bar for the top, which I might well do. We'll see. I have got some 2x1 though that I can put in there, and it's just a central support so that when the snow does come down on it, it's giving that bit of an extra ridge so that we don't get a collapse on our sheeting, our polythene sheeting, when that goes on. It's always a good idea as well. In fact, it's essential really that you get the horticultural grade plastic. You don't get any old plastic for doing the roofing with. You get the true horticultural grade that will stand these weather conditions of hot and cold. Now that writing might be difficult to read, so I'll read you through it. The description of the polythene that we're going to be getting is the Lumisol diffused type. And this is from a company called Northern Polytunnels, I think. I think it's called Northern Polytunnels. Just bear with us a second, I'll just check. Yeah, Northern Polytunnels. Okay. Lumisol diffused. That's the size we've got. Alright, so light diffusing polythene films scatter the light as it passes through the polythene. This enables the light to penetrate deep into the plant's canopy and hits the plant from all directions, not just from the direction of the sun. This diffused light reduces the higher foliage from shading the lower parts of the plant. Light diffusing films allow more light in the polytunnel when the sun is low in the sky, early or late in the day, and also during short winter days. The diffusing process deflects more light downwards in the crop, rather than being reflected upwards as happens with glass or clear polythene. Lumisol diffused can reduce midday summertime temperatures by 2 to 4 degrees. Anti-drip condensation reduction is also a place. It's like a film that's applied to it to reduce the internal condensation build-up. Thanks to its unique additive, Lumisol is able to control the condensation of water. Look at that little fruit fly on the underside of the tunnel covering. Providing the film is correctly fitted, water will condense uniformly in a very thin layer, which instead of remaining in position as droplets runs down the sheet. This reduces the risk of water dripping onto the plants below and prevents the loss of light caused by these droplets, which can amount to as much as 15% light reduction. The effectiveness is reduced over the life of the cover, but anti-condensation solution, SunClear, which is copyrighted, can be reapplied with a sprayer after several years if required. So the light transmission, 88%. The thickness of the poly is 180 microns, and the thermic effect, don't know what that means really, but maybe it's to, I don't know. 80% diffusion of the light is 90%. It's the recommended stuff really, this, and that's what I've got, and it costs £60.86. Northern Polytunnels, that one. I did type in in fact I asked for a Google search for the phone number for First Tunnels, but that's what it gave me, and I rang it. And I didn't realise it wasn't First Tunnels, but I've ordered it from these guys, Northern Polytunnels. So we'll see how that gets on. And it offers a diffused light. It's not clear poly, it's slightly opaque. But that's what we've got anyway, guys. Okay, so when we do finally get the chance to install that poly sheeting, that's the poly sheeting, the Lumisol diffused is the poly sheeting that we're going to be installing. Okay. Catch you later, guys. Bye-bye now. If you don't get the proper horticultural grade polythene to do your tunnels with, this happens. Yeah, it becomes very brittle. The non-horticultural plastic gets very brittle, cracks, splits, and falls off. Just like what's happened there, because Steve did a cracking job on the framing and everything for this, but because of the plastic issue, you know, that extra 15 quid on the real horticultural grade, reliable stock has caused that. Such a shame, isn't it? You know. Okay. So there you go, folks. Steve doesn't mind me coming on his plot. He's a good mate. Secret Steve, the allotment ninja. But yeah, that's what happens if you don't get the correct sort of horticultural grade polythene sheeting. Usually it's 1,000 gauge horticultural polythene sheeting that you need for them. So that's what I've invested in anyway for that. And it's not susceptible, or nowhere near as susceptible to the elements. So it'll be okay in the sunshine and in the freezing temperatures. It's built for that. It's designed for that. I've got the diffused stuff, I think. That was recommended. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait for a decent day to put that on. There's no rush for it though, to be honest. I mean, I was probably being a bit impetuous and impatient trying to get that done. But when the weather's like this, it's not ideal really. You want it temperate. You want it halfway between hot and cold when you're actually fitting these on. So that, because it will expand and contract a little bit in the summertime, the polythene will expand a little bit and become a little bit droopy, whereas in the winter time it will contract a little bit. So you want the temperatures to be moderate, ideally. But yeah, if you get the right sort of polythene, then it's not too big of an issue, that. But the wrong sort of polythene, as you saw up there, is a bit of a drama, isn't it? Eh? You've done all that work and then it gets destroyed, and that's happened within about 2 or 3 months that it's gone like that. I did the same. I made the same mistake when I did the original greenhouse. This, because that was plastic sheeted, and it was plastic sheeted in 1,000 gauge polythene, but it's the stuff that they use when they're putting up enclosures for asbestos removal. It's not built to withstand the elements like this stuff is. This is the proper horticultural grade stuff, which is what you need. All right. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember that we love you all. And keep growing with your heads down. To all our friends, old and new, thanks for joining us in the Growers Revolution, and we hope you're still liking it. And yeah, we're over the 3,000 now, thanks to you guys. And we're growing all the time. We're spreading the word. That's what we want. We want everybody to get involved and spread the word about growing your own. Because I believe that everybody should have at least an attempt, no matter where you are, if you're living in a flat, anywhere, at least try and grow something that you can eat yourselves. Organically grown, of course. No herbicides, pesticides or insecticides have gone anywhere near these. Certainly no chemical ones, no unnatural ones. You do need to have herbicides, pesticides and insecticides, but those controls can be done organically without relying on chemical means, poisonous chemical means. You can do it, and we're going to show you that on the show as we progress through the year. All right. We're hurtling into 2021 now, and we're hoping that it's going to be better than 2020, because obviously 2020 was a little bit of a write-off as regards to life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness, wasn't it? But we're hoping they're going to sort out the situation. I'll call it the situation, because I don't want to get picked up by some sort of bot. So yeah. Catch you later, boys and girls. God bless. Ta-ra now.